Everyone talks about your running style just being really hard. How much did you get that from being the son of a linebacker, do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely genetic coming from my dad being that big. I try to run sort of like a linebacker and a running back mixed together, this mix of speed and power, sort of like Marshawn Lynch. That's what I try to implement my game as.
Is it genetics, or did he implement that in you himself?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a mindset. My dad is definitely telling me that linebackers hate tackling shorter and physical backs. So it's good to have a perspective from him since he was a linebacker. So I know how they think.
How much did you watch his tape? I know, like, even on special teams, like, he was like a wedge buster. Like, he was the guy who would run down the field and just blow up, like, the wedge. Like, how much do you know about
Oh yeah. I definitely used to watch, clips of my dad, even when like he's not even looking. Like I love like trying to see how he played, especially on special teams. Whenever they put me on kickoff, give me tips and stuff. Obviously, wedge busting isn't a thing anymore, but it definitely helped watching him.
Yeah. So, what grade do you think you really got ingratiated in you, the whole idea? Like, I'm gonna run people over. Was that like in third grade, fourth? Was it later?
It was definitely, I think ninth. No, I'd say my sophomore year. That's when I actually started like getting confident in my playing ability. In high school, when I was like younger, I used to like just be a finesse, juking around and stuff. But as I got bigger and I understood that like people don't like tackling bigger running backs, I just started to use that to my advantage.
So what is it about, like, kind of here? Obviously, Will and Phil are kind of at the top of the depth chart. You kind of have to work your way up. Kind of like, what have you kind of done to prepare yourself, I guess, for this opportunity now that there is kind of a need to find some backs behind?
Yeah, just watch and observe. Them being my leaders, I just took what they did and try to implement it to my game, and just seeing how Phil and Will, they're totally two different leaders, but they have a drive to work hard, and I just kind of just watch and observe, so I can, when I get in that role, I know what to do when I get there.
What would you take from Will in particular?
Oh yeah, Will was definitely a hard leader. He wants to get the best out of you. He's definitely he's just he's just that guy. Everybody looks up to. He's like the loudest one. He always wants to be first. So that's what I took from Will, and he's just a great leader all around, and he's part of the reason why I'm confident now.
What is it like following Phil? I mean, Phil's obviously a little bit quieter.
Yeah.
Has he changed at all in terms of like picking up his voice, or is he still kind of the guy you follow?
No, Phil's always been that quiet leader, but that's a form of leadership that he has. He's not going to be. I feel like there's multiple ways that you can lead a running back group or a team, and Phil's just a unique way of leading, and I enjoy it. So he definitely leads us all differently, but he's always going to be a great leader regardless.
Is it just like going the way he goes from drill to drill, or like how he does the drill, or like what is it that you're following, or kind of?
Oh yeah, just how he talks to us, the drill to drill, hey, encouraging, all that kind of stuff. Watching how he runs, teaching us techniques and stuff like that.
So, for you, a kid coming out of Utah, everybody, maybe they don't think football in Utah is very good. You've always kind of had that chip on your shoulder. Did you bring that chip here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everybody know I played in Georgia too. Me and Phil were the top two rushers in Georgia. I don't think a lot of people know that, but yeah, me and him were. I was 1 and he was 2 in 7A, and obviously I brought that into Utah. I kind of showed them that, like, hey, physical running backs can play in Utah too. So obviously Utah football is not as bad as people think it is. They have a lot of great linemen that come out of there. Penny Sewell, he was a great lineman, came out of there. But Utah football is not as bad as people think it is. You just got to watch it.
For you, with your dad, the way that he played, always with a chip on his shoulder, do you have a little bit of that in you too?
Oh yeah, with him, especially being a shorter linebacker. But that's just what my dad. My dad always talks to me about that stuff, and how he was always the underdog, and he had that mentality. He kind of just transferred that over to me, and like I was telling him that linebackers hate tackling shorter, bigger running backs. Like, they hate that. So I use that to my advantage because my dad has the mindset of a linebacker, and I have the mindset of a running back. So I just get ideas from him.
You had one game last year, I think maybe near midfield, where a linebacker or safety tried to square you up. You just kind of, Lord, you show. You remember that? You ran him over.
Yeah.
Do you love that part of the game,
I love
delivering
that.
the blow?
Yeah, because that makes it easier as the game goes. Obviously, I didn't ever got the opportunity to like continue as the game going, but you'll see next season, like as the game goes, they're gonna get tired and tired of tackling me, so it gets easier and easier for me.
I guess Dad was called you the Hammer before. Like,
Hammerhead
or Hammer. Yeah.
Is that only here, or is that?
Yeah, no, well, Coach Riley actually started that, so, and I guess Coach Sweeney and everybody else started calling me that, so ever since I started trucking people and running over people, I mean, that's part of my game. I'm starting to implement a little looseness now. Now that I'm getting, more time, but yeah, that's part of it.
Jay Haynes is a guy we haven't seen as much of. Obviously, he's been hurt a little bit, but Coach Sweeney was saying you guys have seen him obviously in practice. Mm-hmm. What does he have that's different or unique that he can bring to this room?
Yeah, one thing about Jay Haynes, he's very smooth when he runs. He's very elusive. It's kind of like, I don't know, he's a taller running back, but he's like slick, if that makes sense. And he's really good at, catching out of the backfield as well.
For you, this year, obviously everybody likes to talk about the freshmen or whatever, who's coming in. But are you looking at this like, there's a job that's open, and I want to go take it?
That's exactly what I'm thinking, yeah. Everybody's getting the opportunity. Coach told us that spot's open, so I'm going to do everything that I can to compete for that job. There's no intimidation, there's no jealousy in the room at all. And, we all just work as a unit. We're all going to do our best. So I believe that if I'm doing my best, everything's going to take care of itself.
Is it fun to think about big Phil Mafah crashing into him for a while, and then they bring you in and you start crashing into him? Do you talk about that?
Oh, yeah. I think about that all the time. I don't ever talk about it, but I know they're going to feel Phil Mafah, then they're going to feel Keith Davis Jr., so that's what you got to think about it.
I guess the offensive line obviously has a new coach, and Coach Luke, have you noticed any differences in them? Obviously, you're running behind them, like in terms of the way they're playing.
They start picking me up now. Everybody's more energized and more hype. Coach Luke just brings a different energy, so I'm excited about that. And everybody's starting to run downfield. Everybody's just, it's more energy, if that makes sense.
So I guess after you run somebody over, it's like
they just start picking you up, yeah.
What have you seen from David since he arrived in January?
Oh, David's a great runner. I feel like as he continues to go, especially seeing out there today, he's very powerful. He's very fast. I feel like he's got a lot of good track speed. So like once nobody's in front of him, he's gonna be gone.
For you going back, did you grow up a Clemson fan because of your dad?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was a Clemson fan. I was also a Michigan fan growing up, but obviously seeing my dad, play Clemson and coming to Clemson at a young age, I've been coming to the Diablo Senior football camp since I was in 3rd grade. So I've always been a big fan of here. And once I got that offer, it was just like, I think I want to come here for sure.
Did you ever want to play linebacker? Did your dad ever want to play running back?
Yeah, my dad.
He was pretty good in high school, right?
Yeah, my dad was a running back when he came here, but then I think as soon as he got it in practice, they put him at linebacker for a little bit, and he knocked out the quarterback, and they said, no, you're not going back to running back. So, but I did play running back and linebacker in middle school, and I just switched straight to running back because that's what I wanted to do. My dad didn't think I was going to be a running back for very long, but I eventually convinced him that I'm a true running back, so I just stuck with it.
I guess why were you partially a Michigan fan?
Oh, well, just playing video games, honestly. I just like their uniforms and stuff. It was like a younger me thing. That's pretty much what it was. But I've always loved Clemson anyways, but those are like my top 2 teams.
Speaking of video games, you play a lot of college football.
Yes, I play a lot of college.
What is that going to be like, having your name and self?
That's a dream. That is a dream of mine. I've always wanted to be in a video game, and it's exciting to see that. I'm gonna be here to witness myself in a real game, given that it's been like 10 years since they haven't had it. So I'm excited about that.
Are you someone who's gonna be very interested in like what kind of ratings they give you as far as like
Yeah,
power and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that?
I'm gonna make sure. Hopefully they update it. I'm pretty sure they're gonna start me low because they haven't seen a lot of me. But as I, continue to play, hopefully those ratings will go up.
Yeah, I think Wade even said that yesterday. It could kind of be a motivator.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, how much do you think you'll look at those and say like I can build these? Like, how much is that a motivating factor? Do you think for players, not even just yourself?
Oh no, I mean it's not gonna motivate. Football, honestly, just playing football is obviously the main motivation. It's just a video game, but that's all. That's just more entertainment than anything. Seeing that.
Doing good?
Good.